Connor is jogging around the park, but stops when sees a woman named Marilyn bathing in the beach. They make some small talk because Connor detects a little accent on her and he comments that he's a librarian. Marilyn says that she comes often to the beach because that's her secret spot. Connor says that it's not so secret if he also knows about it, and Marilyn agrees because also her family has come to the beach before. Marilyn excuses herself and tells Connor that she needs to go. A few days later, Connor is working at a library when he gets an unexpected visit from Marilyn. Connor notices that something is not right with her, because she's wearing sunglasses to cover a bruise. Marilyn says that in a way Connor is involved because that day that she stayed a bit longer to talk to him made her arrive late at home. Connor asks if she's looking for something in particular there, to which Marilyn replies that she's interested in books that are related to murder. Connor takes Marilyn to the crime section and then leaves her to do her own search because his boss told him to take care of the desk. After a few minutes, Marilyn comes down to get her books stamped by Connor. She tries to give him a tip, and initially Connor doesn't want to take it because he's not allowed, but after she insists he takes it. And before Marilyn leaves, she tells him to use it, not spend it. This is because when Connor unfolds the dollar bill he sees that she wrote her phone number there. Not long after that, Connor goes to a diner to talk to a man named Jock who's pissed off because Connor arrived late due to his work. Two men who are listening to how rude Jock is behaving complain about this. Jock gets up from his seat to tell them to mind their own business and proceeds to flip upside down one of their plates. Jock says that what he did means that he's a state-appointed law officer and he doesn't like that they're listening to the conversation he's having with a known felon. Then Jock and Connor go outside. Jock asks Connor if he's got any questions because if he does something stupid he'll find out. But Connor says that he knows everything that he needs to know. Jock asks how the first 6 months of being free are going. Connor says that everything is fine. So Jock leaves expecting to meet Connor again next week. Later that afternoon, Connor calls Marilyn while she was spending time with her family. Connor wants to hang out with her, but Marilyn says that she can't right now because she's with her stepdaughter and waiting for her father to arrive. After the conversation ends, a police officer arrives to tell Connor that loitering is prohibited. Connor says that he's not doing anything wrong, he was just sitting in his car making a call and then he will be jogging around the park. The officer tells him to be gone by 6 because that's when the park closes, and leaves. Next Tuesday, Connor is back working at the library. He tells his boss Kim that he can finish organizing the books around a certain section so that she can focus on the poetry aisle. Kim says that it's not very fair since the poetry aisle is a lot smaller, but she accepts the offer. Marilyn and her stepdaughter come inside the library. Kim tells Connor that she knows the girl is named Astrid. She goes to her Pilates class, but believes her to be a bitch. Connor offers to take care of them. Connor tells Astrid where the section for the book that she wants is, while he takes Marilyn downstairs to check some books. In the more private setting they start to make out. When they finish, Astrid calls Marilyn to leave. Several days later, Kim and Connor are walking down the street together. She tells him that yesterday she saw Jared after work going out with Astrid. She found this interesting because Jared is much older than Astrid. The following Wednesday, Marilyn and Connor meet up to have sex in a hidden spot in the park. Marilyn opens up to him to tell him that most of the bruises she's got have been for defending Astrid from her father. Connor feels safe enough to tell her more about him, so he reveals that a couple years ago he was going to college and he got invited to a family gathering. And this one guy named Kevin shows up. He's a friend of a friend. Connor saw that Kevin was bothering some kids and he said to stop that. Kevin told him to make him stop, so Connor pushed the guy who fell and hit his head so badly on the concrete that he died. After that, they put Connor in jail for 3 years. Obviously by then he had dropped out of school, and so when he got out he started living in his mom's basement and working at the library because that was the only place that would hire him. Marilyn tells him that he failed to scare her away. The next day, Marilyn and Connor meet again in Marilyn's house. After they have sex, Marilyn says how much she wishes they could be together. But it's not possible. Even though her husband is kind old, she has seen that none in his family died before being 80. Marilyn says goodbye to Connor and he doesn't like the way she said it because it feels as if they won't be seeing each other anymore. A few weeks later, Kim and Connor are walking down the street when Astrid, who's having lunch with Marilyn and Jared, greets them. Marilyn says to Connor that she has a question about the book he recommended to her because she didn't get a chance to read it and wonders if the couple got away with the murder. Connor says that they did, but the ending is not necessarily good. That same day later, Marilyn calls Connor and he immediately notices that her husband did something to her. Connor says that in the book everything could have turned out just fine if they had stuck together, but they didn't, they turned on each other and ruined things. Connor warns her that if they do it then it's forever. And Marilyn says that she would do anything to be with him. The next afternoon, Connor and Marilyn meet up. Marilyn tells him that she will be taking Astrid to Boston for 2 days next week. Marilyn tells him that their house has no alarms, but her husband sleeps with a gun under his pillow. Connor tells Marilyn to tell him that she doesn't want her husband killed for the money. Somo money will come to Marilyn, but most of it will go straight to Astrid. Connor says it's fine, he will do it for them so that they can be together. At midnight, Connor sneaks into Marilyn's house. Connor looks under Marilyn's husband's pillow to confirm that his gun is there. Connor is about to leave, but he hears a noise. It's Marilyn's husband who's named Richard. He's on the phone talking to someone. Apparently he has had a couple of drinks. Connor follows him upstairs and when Richard notices his presence he tries to escape. They get to the bedroom where Richard grabs his gun, but when he's about to shoot him, Jared comes from behind and hits Richard. Connor grabs the gun and asks Jared what he's doing there. Jared says that heard the noise and came to help. Connor doesn't buy that story and shoots him. Now there's 2 dead people at the crime scene. Connor starts to freak out and throws some things he finds in the way before leaving. Marilyn calls Connor and he reminds him that he asked her not to because it could be used against them. Connor says that Richard was gonna shoot him dead, but he didn't because Jared stepped in. Marilyn says that it was just a coincidence, but she gets really concerned when she hears that Connor killed Jared. But they do say they love each other before ending the call. A few days have passed. Connor receives a message from an unknown number. It just says books. Connor knows what it's about so he grabs a bag and gets out of his house, but the police are waiting for him outside. Jock tells him that they found his blood at the crime scene. Connor hits Jock and runs away to the beach. But the police got there immediately. Connor wonders how this is possible. How would they know he was there? Jock tells him that they have an anonymous informant and that he has to get on the floor to surrender. But Connor receives a message and he tries to see it, but the police shoots him for moving, ending his life. Meanwhile, Marilyn is on a yacht with Astrid. Marilyn says to her that now nothing will come in between them anymore and they kiss, letting us know that they were lovers all along.